The digital clock on Elena's nightstand read 3:47 a.m. when the first memory surfaced. Not a dream. Not a nightmare. Something more visceral, a memory so deeply buried that its emergence felt like an excavation. Maria's voice. Clear. Precise. Some secrets are meant to stay hidden, Elena. But some secrets will consume you if you don't bring them into the light. Elena's eyes snapped open, her body rigid with a tension that had become as familiar as breathing. 20 years. 20 years since her sister's disappearance, and still, these moments came. Unbidden. Uncontrollable. She reached for the manila folder she kept hidden in her bedside drawer. Not the official case files. Not the police reports. This was her personal archive, a collection of notes, photographs, and fragments that official investigations had overlooked. Photographs of Maria dominated the collection. Maria at her university graduation. Maria collecting soil samples in the mountains. Maria smiling, that brilliant, transformative smile that could light up an entire room. The last photograph was the most haunting. Taken just days before her disappearance. Maria standing at the edge of a forest clearing, her research equipment scattered around her. Something in her expression suggested she had discovered something. Something significant. Elena's forensic training had taught her to look beyond the obvious. To see the narrative hidden between lines of official documentation. And in this photograph, something was different. A subtle tension in Maria's posture. A look in her eyes that suggested both excitement and fear. Her phone buzzed. An unknown number. Most people would have ignored it. Most people weren't Elena Rodriguez. She answered on the second ring. Rodriguez. Silence. Then a mechanically altered voice. The path you're about to walk was first walked by your sister. Are you prepared to understand why she disappeared? The call disconnected before Elena could respond. Preparation was more than a professional habit for Elena. It was a survival mechanism. By 5 a.m., her apartment had transformed into a forensic workspace. Topographical maps of the San Gabriel Mountains covered her dining table. Digital files from her cold case investigations were cross-referenced, annotated. Maria had been an environmental researcher specializing in geological anomalies. Her final research project had focused on unusual mineral formations in a remote section of the mountain range. Formations that didn't align with existing geological surveys. Elena had spent years trying to understand what her sister had been investigating. Official reports suggested nothing unusual. But Elena knew better. Official reports were just carefully constructed narratives designed to close investigations, not solve them. Her go bag was a testament to her professional paranoia. Satellite communication device. High-resolution digital camera. Specialized geological sampling kit. Emergency medical supplies. And, of course, her service weapon. The invitation that had arrived days earlier seemed to pulse with an energy that defied rational explanation. Raven's Ridge. A trail that existed on maps but seemed to resist traditional navigation. As dawn broke, Elena loaded her meticulously maintained Jeep Cherokee. No messages to colleagues. No digital trail. Just a carefully crafted note for her neighbor, explaining a potential personal leave. The drive to the trailhead was deliberate. Calculated. Each mile bringing her closer to a truth that had eluded her for 2 decades. Raven's Ridge was not a typical hiking trail. Geological surveys suggested a complex terrain that had resisted comprehensive mapping. Dense forest. Unpredictable elevation changes. Areas where traditional GPS signals became unreliable. Perfect for hiding secrets. Elena arrived precisely at 6 a.m. The forest seemed to breathe around her. Ancient pine trees stood like sentinels, their branches creating a canopy that swallowed what little ambient light existed. A sound. Subtle. Almost imperceptible. Someone was watching her. "I know you're there," Elena called out, her voice carrying a professional calm that masked her heightened alertness. Silence answered her. But it was a deliberate silence. The kind that suggested careful, calculated observation. A rustle of movement. To her left. Approximately 50 feet away, Elena's hand moved imperceptibly closer to her holstered weapon. Not drawing, just preparing. Maria's research was more than an academic pursuit. A voice emerged from the forest. Male. Aged. Carrying an accent that suggested multiple geographical influences. An older man stepped into the clearing. Late 60s. Weathered face that suggested years of outdoor exploration. His hiking gear was expensive but showed signs of extensive use. "Who are you?" Elena demanded. "Someone who knew your sister," the man responded. "Someone who understands what she discovered in these mountains." The game was about to change, and Elena Rodriguez was ready. The true journey was just beginning.